everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Maame Benko and I am a foundation doctor working in South London. Today I will be talking to you about my experiences and how to overcome imposter syndrome. The reason why I want to talk about imposter syndrome is because being from an ethnic minority background, I feel like a lot of individuals, both males and females, tend to experience this, especially when they go from education into starting a career. I'm like a definitions gal, so I'm just going to go through the definitions of imposter syndrome. So this is basically where you have a feeling of intrusion or being an imposter despite evidence of success. This is where you feel like you don't deserve to be where you are. And I remember experiencing this so vividly, especially when I first started working as a doctor. I was just like, who is this small girl? Who is this girl? Who do I think I am? Do I deserve to be here? But one thing that you notice is that in a lot of the definitions of imposter syndrome, you realize that the feelings are intrinsic, and you realize that a lot of the feelings are there despite you being qualified to be there, despite the fact that other people believe that you should be there. And the one thing that's really helped me is self-reflection and building up my confidence, recognizing my value. I deserve to be where I am because, you know, my intellect has warranted the fact that I'm supposed to be there, the fact that I've been through so much in life and I've overcome so many hurdles, and this is the reward for my resilience. So it's about time we stop doubting ourselves and we start believing in ourselves, recognizing that we are in the position we are because we worked hard to be there, because we deserve to be there. I think, I definitely agree. I think as much as it is in the BAME community, people of a similar skin tone to me feel it more, and that has something to do with representation. So we see London, I should say, because that's where I'm from, is a very multi-ethnic community. However, we don't see a lot of black people in positions of power. And I think as with everything that's happened with the Black Lives Movement and George Floyd, what we're seeing is that a lot of companies are now starting to do internal reviews and recognizing that actually their boards of directives aren't very representative of what's going on. So now I think things hopefully should get better, but one reason why is because we don't see people like us. So when we do get there, it's very difficult to accept the fact that we belong to be there. We belong to be where we are. Whereas a lot of Asians now, like Priti Patel, she's an Asian woman in power. So I'm sure if another Asian girl joins parliament, she won't feel like she's an imposter because she has a, role model she can look forward to. I think the solution will be very relative to an individual, but what I would say generically is just like, remember who you are, like remember your source, remember your journey, look back at what you've gone through. I have something called a confirmation folder on my phone. So whenever anyone compliments me, whenever I get a good grade or, anything, I just put it on. It's literally the notes on the notes folder in my iPhone. I go back and read it. I remember who I am. I remember, what I stand for, what I've overcome. And once you continue to remember your value, then you'll even start to go the opposite way, where you feel like you're more deserving. You're more, valuable than the position that you're in. I think it's just remembering that even if you don't see people like you there, maybe you're there so other people after you can see you. Maybe you're the change that needs to happen to that company, or you're the change that needs to be there, essentially. When I first started working as a doctor, as you can tell, I don't dot my I's and cross all my T's. I wasn't born in the UK. I came here from South Africa at a very young age, despite being from a Ghanaian heritage. And when I first started working as a doctor, especially a lot of the medical words are like Latin or is part of the language that someone from a middle or higher working class will use. So I remember times when I'll be like struggling to pronounce words and feeling very insecure, and then saying, oh, do I really even deserve to be here if I can't even speak or sound like a doctor? But those little insecurities do not reflect who I am as a doctor. And I think one thing that I had to do is just keep going back to my graduation certificate that said Dr. Maame Benko, that even if I can't say, I don't know, dystodokinesia or all these big Latin words, it doesn't take away from the very fact that I've worked hard for 6 years to qualify to be where I am today, basically. And if not being able to say a word, if I can't say a word, but I can still diagnose a condition and treat a patient well, then what does that mean in the grand picture? I'm here to, provide a job, and if I can do that, and if I'm qualified enough to do that, and if the General Medical Council have given me a pin and saying I'm safe enough to do it, then what are all these intrusive thoughts that I'm an imposter? I'm more than qualified to be there. I think I've been trying to utilize my social media a lot more. Just showing people a day in the life of, sharing my journey. What have I not been through? I've been through the death of my father, cancer of my mother. I've been through homelessness. I've been through so much. And I think I'm just there to show people that, no matter what you've been through, when, there is a purpose and a blessing there for you, that you will be there to achieve it, and nothing you ever go through has been wasted. So some of the situations I've been through just have helped build me up as an individual in order to cope with situations or be even more empathic with patients going through a similar thing. I use whenever I do see girls or boys of a similar skin tone as me, I speak to them about their feelings and I reassure them and I tell them that honestly, you guys can do it. If I could do it, honestly, then you can achieve anything you set your mind towards. So it's just through affirmation in person, and also using my platform as a way to, inspire people and to be a role model for them. I would say, just to conclude, we all need to realize how powerful our minds and how powerful our thinking is. There's something in psychology known as a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's where whenever you label yourself as something, you eventually become that thing. So if you do feel like an imposter and you keep telling yourself you're an imposter, you will become one. You will start to, overthink things. You'll start to make mistakes. You'll put yourself at risk of potentially even being fired or struck off. I think we need to start thinking and being very careful with the way we see each other. If we see ourselves as, victorious and as winners and as being successful, then that's what's going to happen inevitably in our life. What you put out there in the world is what happens. So let's all start working on changing the way we see things. Let's start manifesting good things. Let's start appreciating and valuing ourselves as individuals, and you see how much your life transforms.
Perfect. That's the money. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, darling.